too much sunny. Now better. So yeah, the topic that I want to talk right now is that Indians are basically playing a very stupid game, and also they're very cheap, very cheap. Like in like people, they every time Sundar Pichai, like they sort of boast or beat their chest way too much. Um, when these CEOs in other companies, bigger companies, you know, um, come on the media or get some promotions, but basically they are losers. Okay, the CEOs are also Indian CEOs are also losers, and the Indian people who actually you know build up these CEOs, they're all big losers game. They hide their success, and they're not CEOs, they're operators. Okay, that's one thing that these people forget. They were never founders, they were never innovative, they were not never anything. Even innovation today in these days, there are some other people in the company who do it. They're just operator, they're just the face and the operator. They are way worse than the people who promote them. They exactly follow instructions. What they are being told to, that's what they do. And a lot of the Indians do this because they are so poor and so not just poor by not just money, but they are poor mentally. Like they are so cheap mentally. They, I mean, imagine these countries fight over caste. These countries fight over nationality, parties, all of those things. These are the maximum over there, right? And they can get people can get mad. They can eat shit. They can be very carry. So in India, there is no concept of reputation and respect. In India, the respect and reputation has transformed into ego management, ego protection. That's it. They do not gather reputation by doing right. By doing, they don't gather respect by doing right. Doing right is not a thing there, and many Americans actually told me. There was this American lady who used to do is she told a very good analogy, which I felt is a very good explanation in very shortest amount of words. What she said is, in he said, in India there is no concept of right and wrong. She does business over there. She runs a business in India, but mostly it is being operated by some Indian only. Everybody, she just sits here only and gets the money. But what she said is that in India, there is no concept of right and wrong. There is no shame in cheating, stealing, all of those things. So she said that the only thing that is in India is that if I steal and you catch me, then only it's wrong. Otherwise, it's not wrong. Or like whatever I do wrong, if you see me, only then it's wrong. Otherwise, it's not wrong. Very nice. And yeah, they can eat shit. So basically, as Indians, as they grow up in age, like 30, 40, 50, 60, what happens is their face starts looking worse than their asses, or maybe similar, because they eat so much shit and they don't take shower. They don't clean themselves, and they don't clean their butt also. They just stick around in their butt. And you might say that American use paper and all that, but that is not the thing actually. But, I have seen so much in this world, I know it. Okay, the thing is that so much shit. Look at how crooked they're, crooked from all sides. And the only reason Indians take so much, feel so much good about themselves is that they can exploit. The only game in India is the game of exploitation. From government to normal small beggar also. If beggar gets power, he will exploit. That is the only thing that is the game. So everybody is chasing money, thinking that if I get money, I will be able to buy cool, fun, and amazing things, and I will be able to exploit. That is the only game in town. That is the only game. They look like shit. And then they force other person to do the same. It's like prostitutes. In most Indians are prostitutes of other Western countries, right? So basically, what they do is that they do prostitution and then they force others to do the same prostitution. Even men. That's the irony here. Like men of the country become so weak that they don't have the courage to say what is right, what is wrong, and all of that thing. Um, Bizarre, totally bizarre. And what they are doing is they're ruining the future of their own kids, nobody else, their own kids, by becoming useless and crooked. Like they are kind of, you can, the cam guards in of hell, the orcs of, in a lot of the rings you have seen orcs. They are the orcs. They can eat shit. They are eating shit. You go to any Indian restaurant, most of the food is just shit. I mean, food is good. The underlying food, the the produce was good, but they cook it and make it shit. Also, and everything is happening because they are being sold certain lies by some traditions, some governments, and those lies is what they just keep it to their chest and run and fight. That's the only thing. They don't even understand the value of life. They don't understand. They don't treat other human as human. They don't understand the value of life. And that is the reason they are so crooked and ugly and stingy and all of those things. You see any 45, 50, 60 years old person in India, and you see here, a lot of difference you'll find. And the reason is same, not being compassionate for the other person. Yesterday I was talking to this, like, right now the situation in India is so bad, like they're fighting for the bread. They don't have time to sleep. If you see Indian people working in Indian IT companies, no, they are in power. They are doing good. They are dictating Americans also. But the quality, the condition of work is what they have deteriorated to poverty. And why would Americans won't like it? Okay, it's your country. As long as you're doing my work, make it hell. I don't care. You are treating another Indian as badly. Why would I care? My work is getting done. You eat shit. You do whatever you do. So right now, that is the situation. Indians have become another, colony of Americans, where they get their software work done. India is not an innovation center for them, and that is the reason China is better, because China has some self-respect. China has some courage. What India doesn't have is that courage and self-respect. Go to any, like, see, they are crooked and they try to make you crooked. 4 hairs, they might they might be like fat like anything. Like if the food of yesterday is not digested, why are you eating today? I don't want to get into this. Some of these Indian outings and parties in restaurants I go to, and I see people. It's, it's not even worth talking. Disgustingly, it's In office parties, they order pizzas. They got no better option, even from the other people's money. They haven't got better option. Forget about their own money. Even in a good restaurants, after going in a good restaurant which serves good, very high-end food, they, they are they are the only thing they were able to select is pizzas. Just you can see how cheap the mind has become, how stingy the mind has become. That they don't aren't able to they aren't able to think anything better than that. That's why I say to young generation, work for the people whom you can look up to. Yeah. They don't understand the cost of life, basically. The whole reason Indians are so stingy and cheap is because they don't understand the cost of life. So they sell life for so cheap, very cheap. And they for and let's say and they force the other person to sell his life cheaper than him himself. That is the whole idea. That's why it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Because they don't have mutual self-respect for everybody as Indian. Indian would be the only ethnicity, I believe, who would not be wanting to be Indian. But at least if you don't want to be an Indian, then mix with other. They go to other countries and live in their own cloud. They don't go out with other people. They don't go out and eat other people's meal and food and how they cook. They don't cook with other people. Like, all of those things they don't do, and they all are dirty. They don't have time to take shower. They don't take time to clean their butt. They don't put cologne. They don't do anything. They eat shit, barely sleep, and just work. That is the Indian IT company folks are trying to compete with the Tesla robot, like cheaper than the robot, or cheaper than the cheapest thing available. That's why they are so unattractive. Like, what will you do? They don't have sense. Anyway, this is about it. It's been going on for a long time, so I had to say this out actually, because people are not understanding in India that what they are doing is that they are ruining the future of their own kids and nobody else. The day you hurt your neighbor, the day you hurt your colleague, the day you don't understand what your junior staff or senior staff is trying to say, you know, in terms of personal uh, safety or maybe um, you know capacity, what can be done and what cannot be done, and you are going below the belt with them and you are hurting them. That's the time you are not hurting them, you are hurting your own kids and your own family. Bye.